quitting doesn't send a message to anybody. Just shows you're a quitter and you weren't up for the fight. Hey everybody, and welcome back. So, in the news lately, in the last couple of days, is a high profile, if you want to say, well recognized liberal MP, Stephen Guilbeault, I believe. Stephen Guilbeault is resigning. And he's resigning because he's upset with the deal struck by his party and Daniel Smith's party in Alberta for a new pipeline to the west. He's an environmental activist, worked most of his life to promote a greener future. And I support that. And a lot of people support that. And he's upset of the direction he believes his party is taking. Now, this is where I separate myself from him in terms of the strategy or his temper tantrum I believe he's having. That he's upset he didn't get what he wanted. And I have a different view on what a true fighter for any cause should be doing. So he stated, let's go over what he stated. When I entered politics, it was because I had a deep conviction that I could make a difference in fighting climate change and protecting environments. Guilbeault wrote a letter announcing his resignation from Carney's cabinet soon after that memorandum was signed. My commitment to leaving a better world for the future of our children and our planet remains unchanged. This is where I really take a different stance and different view on what his reaction to what was going on between Mark Carney and Daniel Smith. A lot of left-leaning commentators, influencers, whatever you want to say, are supporting him and his action to leave the party because they believe Mark Carney is diverged from his commitment to the environment. I don't begrudge people on their view of if they feel Mark Carney has abandoned his goals for a greener future for Canada and the children of Canada. However, this is not how you win a fight. This is not how you get your message across. This is just showing that you're upset, I'm taking my ball, and I'm going home. You remind me of Daniel Smith and her party. Maybe you believe that if you did the same thing, that you would get the same outcome as Daniel Smith. But look how it's working out for Daniel Smith and what she's done to her province. How she's pissed off her constituents, her voters, the ones who want to stay. How she's put Alberta, potentially the economy of Alberta, at risk of any future investments of companies want to do because now she's pissed off her separatist party that they believe that she's not one of them. It didn't work out for her, whatever you may think. In order to fight, in order to make change, you need a seat at the table. You need allies. And he has allies. Let me show you. I'm a good friend of Stephen. I've worked a lot to bring him into politics, and he will always be a good friend, said Industry Minister Melanie Joly. But I also think that what we've done with the MOU makes sense. Okay? Difference of opinion, but he had an ally with her. Okay? I really want him to stay. I think he is a great guy. I'd rather him in caucus saying what he thinks, said Ontario Liberal MP Marcus Pulowski. See, he had allies. He had allies that even wanted him to stay. This is the thing, like I stated, in order to enact change, you need a seat at the table. No one's going to listen to you when you're not at the table in any negotiation, any policy, anything you have to do to make change, if you're not at the table, your comments mean nothing. You've got millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people, whatever it is, that are voicing their opinions, okay? But if you don't have a representative to bring that voice to the negotiating table, nothing's going to get done. And this idea that he was there to fight the big fight, to bring change, to make sure there's a greener world for our kids is BS to me, because he's leaving that table, that he's taking his ball and going home. I understand it's not your ideal agreement, that it hinders us and puts us back, but there's other ways to go around it. If you were a true fighter, you would still be there. You would use every opportunity you could until you, like if you're on a battlefield, if that's it, you're outnumbered, you just give up. A true fighter would fight to their last breath and their last bullet. And this guy just put up the white flag and says, I'm out. So he was never for a greener future or fighting for the future of our kids, because he gave up so easily. So, and it's such a shame. Like, you have a lot of people on the left that support his decision to leave, to show a message and to show that the liberal government is going back on their words. But if there's nobody left to show Mark Carney that he's not following the will of a lot of the voters, and then he gets surrounded by other liberal MPs that are not as green oriented as Stephen was, nothing's going to get done. It'll be a lot longer, and we'll have to fight to get back to the seat again that he gave up so easily. So he didn't make a good move. He took the easy way out. For what? I don't understand people who just say, I quit. I don't want to be a part of this anymore because you had a small disagreement. Why don't you work on with Mark Carney on how he was like talking about electrifying and doubling the electrification of Canada by, I believe it was 2050? In that plan of that electrification, making sure any new transmission line is high voltage transmission lines, anything that's going to be feeding this transmission line to increase our energy output or electrification, deals with grid tie batteries, solar, winds, hydro, whatever, anything that will push us to a greener future. Making sure investments in induction cooktops instead of natural gas stoves, heat pumps for heating and cooling. There's other ways to get to the same point. You don't have to have a one-track mind and one direction. And then if that path gets blocked, you say, I'm out, I give up. Because that's what he did. One little pushback or one thing that didn't go his way, temper tantrum. This is not right. He lied. I'm out. Squandered the opportunity. So he's not a fighter, never has been. Hopefully we get someone with a bigger spine, the ability to actually fight for people like myself who want a greener future for Canada. He wasn't one of them. And he's going to be remembered like that. So don't listen to a lot of these, listen to them, but just know that a true fighter would have stayed and used every opportunity up until his last breath to fight for a green future for Canada and for the future of Canadians. Quitting doesn't send a message to anybody. Just shows you're a quitter and you weren't up for the fight. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think, what he could have done to get his goals accomplished in a different direction. And hopefully he is replaced with somebody that has better fighting tactics than he did, and that we don't get screwed over even more because of him, and not because Mark Carty made a deal that wasn't up to his snuff of what he believed Canada was in the direction, because he screwed us more than Mark Carney did. It's one less person fighting for us. Anyways, guys, take care. We'll talk later.